Hey, what's up, guys? It's T-Bone here, and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So today is the second day of the event, and the relic is now available for the event Safari of Cybernetic Carnage. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the decks that I'm personally using to take out bosses, and we can also explore some ideas for others as well. So if you take a look at the cards here, I actually built a few teams. Some of them are going to be very budget friendly, and some of them will involve a full feature deck. And those are decks that I love to use. I mentioned before that I enjoy commander events because a lot of these decks really retain good value over time. And so we can take a look through them as well. So here's one of the decks here that uses Amy. You can use Daniil as well if you don't have Amy, but the point here is if you only have the support cards from this particular event, you should still be able to get up to 4 cards, and they're really helpful. They're really useful. Given that they're balanced cards, they do have good recovery, so your health is going to be very good in terms of being able to survive these hits. And notice that it's also a dual class card now, technological in addition to creature. So this was a new addition since the last event. So this does add additional, future deck building ideas. There was a previous light technological deck. I'm going to show you how that works. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. And notice I also have a relic here. I just got this today. I got my 365-day loyalty reward, where this relic will create 3 gems matching my affinity bonus, which is nice in situations where you might have a deck that requires, where you don't have the relics for the gems. So this will really help out. So let's go ahead and take this on. For this, let's go ahead and try against a guild boss here, and we can see how this works out. So this particular deck uses Amy for the guaranteed power gem generation without any intensity requirement, and then also the support cards. Not only do they heal, they also create 5 gems every time you hit, and so you can use that to then actually you can increase the chance of it actually overriding the non-light gems that Amy creates into actually light power gems, as you can see there. And so now the guild bosses actually cast weaken, and so you can see that we're not able to deal as much damage, but we're still doing about a billion, close to a billion each time. And so that means every three turns we'll be able to take down the boss health by 1 billion there, which, even though it's not great compared to some of the other boss health there, but it's, this is a deck that essentially uses a previous Slayer card and 4 support cards here. So I think that it does its job in terms of taking down the guild boss. And so of course there are going to be other better options, and I will be talking about that in the next deck. And so let's go ahead and just finish up the boss here. And hopefully we'll actually have some cards that don't get hit by weaken, but unfortunately that's not the case. So if you can, I wanted to show the full damage of the cards here, and keep in mind too, these are level 1 cards, so the actual damage of the card is not that high. And if if this was leveled up a little bit, then I could at least deal a little bit damage. And now I might need to do one more attack after this. I'm not sure if I'll be able to deal over 1.3 billion one hit, but we can see here. So let's see this next turn. Oh, good. So I actually have a few cards that have come out of the weakened state, and so let's see how much we can deal here. If not, we still have 3.8 seconds to take down the boss. And so with this, okay, 316 million, so that's okay. We might be able to take it out if I do a match here. Let's see if that's the case. Close, 47 million. All right, so just one more turn and we're good to go. So you can see here, it's not the most powerful deck, but it works, right? So just, using a sort of thrown together card that doesn't actually have any, it doesn't actually help the rest of the deck. I can still take out the boss with over 4 billion. So this is a starter deck. Okay, think of it as a starter deck with the basic damage there. But the next one is going to be really good. So this deck does use the Master Collection card but if you don't have it, you could still use the event card. And before we actually go into fight, what I wanted to show you is this. So what I'm showing you here is the damage calculator that I featured last time. So now with a Master Collection card, the damage is 3,200 at level 1. And if we use 3 keys here, and just with that, we're expecting a Power Gem 2, we can expect, again, against the Dark boss, we're going to be able to deal about 8.8 billion damage or more. And right now, if we look at neutral, it'll be about half. So we're looking at 4.4 billion with just that card. Plus the support cards will give you about 1.6 for a total of 4. About 3.2, 6.4, about 10 billion. We're looking at 10 to 11 billion per hit. And so that still means we can probably 2-shot the boss if it's neutral. And in fact, that's the boss that we're going to go against. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take on, where did he go? We're going to take on Kate Dia. So you can see with this particular deck, Kate Dia, this is actually Gem Silence, so we don't want that one. Is it Airless Angel? All right, so with Airless Angel, this is going to be even easier. So we saw earlier already where we should expect about, 8 billion damage or more with this card. And so let's go ahead and take this on. Now, here's the thing. I'm running 4 cards that actually dispel thorns, but the thing here is it's not guaranteed at 100%. It's pretty much 90, high 90s percentage wise, but it's not 100%. So there is still a chance that even though I'm running 4 event cards, that thorn I might be hit with thorn. And so we can watch out for that. Now, the trick to playing this deck is you want to activate your support cards as often as possible, because you're going to quickly get intensity in this way. So it generates 10 intensity every time. So by activating 4 of them, I'm getting 40 additional intensity every time I use it. And so the goal is to reach 350 intensity total for that one shot. But the proper way to play this deck is not to wait until you get the 350 intensity. Instead, you want to hit it at about 140, 120 intensity mark, wait 7 turns, and then do it again. Because otherwise, you're just wasting the opportunity that you could have to attack by not utilizing that. But what I'm doing here is I'm actually just showing you the total damage that I could deal in one shot. So I'm just going to quickly try and get the intensity up and show you how that works. So we're at 280 now, just a couple more turns and we'll be at 350. And so while I'm doing this too, you can see that I have a couple of Power Gen 4s that are stored now on the board. And so when we finally do the match there, our damage output is actually going to be higher than expected, than what we saw in the calculator there. So now let's go ahead and wait until one more turn. So let's go ahead and do this now, activate everything. And you can see that we have a full board of Power Gems here, and let's go ahead and see how much damage we deal there. So with this, also a couple of drops, more light gems matches, we're dealing, the Master Collection card dealt 11 billion. And so for a total of 28 billion, close to 29 billion with this particular deck. So this is a really good deck that is capable of taking down a solo legend boss at level 300. Now, if you don't have the Master Collection card, but you have the event card, which I actually don't have, how much damage can you expect then? Well, let's take a look. So in this particular case, I believe the event card deals about 2,500, or let's say I think it's 2,000 at level 1. So if you have just the one, the simple way to think about it is just switch this to Power Gem 1s. And now you can see that the event card, you can expect to deal about 1.5 with just the one. Okay, but then the rest of the cards, you're looking at 4 support cards, and they deal 880, close to 1 billion. And we saw that it could deal a little bit higher. And are we against neutral? We're actually against neutral right now. So if you go up against a dark card that you're strong against, it goes up by a lot. So you can deal about 3 billion plus another close to 2 billion per card. You're still looking at about 8 billion, 10 billion damage there. So instead of a single shot, with just one single event card, you could take down the boss with 2 hits. So that's where, I think if you go fast, and then the trick is to be able to go fast so you can go through 7 turns each time. And so I think that this is a really good deck to have. It's solid for this event. It works really well. And so hopefully you have creature relics as well. But if you don't, just by having 4 of these cards, you're going to be able to build it up really quickly. So this right here is, I believe, my MVP for the budget deck that I would like to show. It's perfectly capable to take down level 300 solo level legend bosses, which I wasn't able to show before in the budget deck. So this is definitely something to keep. And another thing that I thought about was, well, since it's a dual class type, you could run also Astral Martyr, sort of do the opposite, where you use the technological intensity, but this doesn't deal much damage at all, especially given the alternative here. This is what I would go with. Now, another deck that I wanted to show also is if you have the full Thoth deck, this works really well because remember that both Thoth and Ra dispel Gem Silence. Okay, so this is another deck where I'm running with 4 of them that will actually dispel Gem Silence. And also I have a light goblin team here which uses Morte Thronos for cleansing everything. I actually used this particular deck with the 3rd goblin in there to 1-key everything. And so this is a really powerful deck, and I do want to showcase how this particular 2 decks work. And so let's go ahead and take a look there. So we can go up against Kadia. Actually, that's perfect because Kadia is a Earth boss, and I can dispel Gem Silence. I can actually go against neutral pretty easily. This is not an issue, so let's go ahead and do a battle against this particular boss. Now, this one runs with no APEP. And so it only uses, it actually just uses the ultra rare card here. And so the way this works is you just have to sort of build your own opportunities to match gems. But in a commander event, this is a lot easier because it will always make sure you fill out up to 5 gems on the board for you, so that you can. Like if you have less than 5 gems on the board, it will create up to that for you. And so you can always have an easier time to match gems. And now that I have the power gems on the board, I'm just going to go ahead and activate everything. And you can see here, I don't see a better option there. So I'm going to do the swap here, and we can see how much damage this team is able to deal. And so with this, I'm able to easily one-shot the boss, and in fact, if the guild boss was an Earth one, I'll be able to take it down easily as well. So I was able to deal 43 billion damage with that 1 hit, and so it's still a super powerful deck. I really enjoy this. I mentioned before that commander decks seem to retain their value a little bit better, and it's actually something you can see here, where in the Slayer event, you can see this type of a drop by 3 times or more. In a commander event, you're looking at about half. So instead of a factor of 3 decrease in damage, you're looking at about just a reduced by half. And so in its own event, when the cards were at 10 and 13, this was dealing more than double the damage, right? But in a off event deck, this deck works really well. And now let's go ahead and take a look at what we can do with this Goblin deck, how to use Morte Thronos. And again, what we'll do is, let's go ahead and try out against Ray here. So Ray is going to cast Weaken, and let's go ahead and use the Light Human deck. And so the way to play this particular setup is you always use Morte Thronos first before anything else. And so let's go ahead and activate everything. And you'll see that at the end of this turn, you're going to get hit by Weaken. So you go ahead and use Morte Thronos and then activate everything all at once. So with one Master Collection and one basically Gadre and also Oglyph, they will mimic the Orsank's ability. And so you can get a pretty good solid board of gems there. And now we're going to get hit by Gem Silence in the not Gem Silence, weakened by the next turn. But at this point, Mordant Thronos can just go ahead and cleanse and heal at the same time, and you can just kind of rinse and repeat. Now I believe I'm dealing approximately a little over 4 billion, so maybe about close to 5 billion. So this will take a few hits, but I think probably just 3 or 4 more hits. And so if I'm fast here, I should be able to take it down in this particular turn. So let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. And so let's go ahead and do this. And I'm not really worried about doing any other matches here, except to just wait for the turns to finish for my battle skills to be ready. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out the damage. Now, Orsang also has this nice ability where every 3 attacks, it gives you additional power gems, and so that's what happened there. So it actually helped me with my overall damage there. And so let's go ahead and do this one more turn, and then just rinse and repeat. And one of the tips actually here is what I should have done when I play Mordant Thronos. I should have put Mordant on the leftmost side. So what you can do is you can just kind of go left to right. So this is another tip there, where if you already know the sequence of activation, just put them in that order so that you don't actually end up spending a lot of time thinking about it. You just kind of just remember muscle memory. Hey, just go left to right, or you can go right to left. Same thing, same idea there. So this should be the last attack there. So I'm just going to go ahead and activate Thronos and then activate everything else. And the reason why you want to activate Gadrate first before Oglyph is because Gadrate will create Power Gem 3s, and it depends on the fact that there's you want minimum number of light gems on the board when you activate Gadrate, and so you don't want to activate Oglyph first, because then you're going to fill up the board with some Power Gem 2s, and that reduces the number of Power Gem 3s that you'll be able to create. And so that's pretty much the way to play that deck. Now you notice one last thing before we go. There's a new boss that has come up now, and it's a gem boss. So this is a new thing for this event. It's a level 300 gem boss, Thrall, with 2.1 trillion health. Now, the rewards here is a gem coin, and it doesn't require any keys. It just requires up to 30 stamina. And what you can do to redeem, what you can redeem with the gem collection here is you can redeem dust and crystal shards. You can get additional enchantment crates, and you can also get up to 1,500 gems back. So unfortunately I don't think I have any team that'll be capable of dealing that damage. And I'm okay with that because there's no impact to the trophy count here. I think this is something that if you have the deck here, you can go for it, and it presents a challenge, and that's good. And I certainly think that you should check it out. I definitely will be trying it out just to see how much damage I can deal. And then so before I sign off though, if you're running low on stamina, one of the things that you can do here is you can go to the Honor XP pack, and for 350 Honor, you'll get a guaranteed XP potion as well as potentially stamina. So it looks like one guaranteed XP, one hero, one catalyst, and stamina as well as gold. So if you buy a few of those, you'll be able to really build up your stamina, which is really what's needed to attack there. So that's a little tip there for you if you were to go after this challenge. Keep in mind though, there's only 20 minutes on the clock total for the boss, so it will run out if you can't deal enough damage each time. So that's it for this episode. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if this has been helpful, and also, what your thoughts are on the changes for this particular event with the addition of the gem, with the gem boss. Personally, I think that the balance is pretty good for this event. I'm happy with it. I'm having fun here. So I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback on this. And in probably a couple more days near the end of the event, we'll come back and take a look and see how things go. So that's it for today. It's a little bit of a longer video. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you next time. Take care.